Oh, okay. I will. I'll have to come up with basically a pre. I need to sit down and iron out a pregame for this whole freaking thing. Um, Mostly because I'm uh, I'm patchworking this. Why am I showing that camera? Let's see if that updates real quick. You should not be looking at my PlayStation controller. What is going on? Why is that not? Hey, there it goes. Good evening, and welcome to another live chat on another gear show, where tonight we're going to continue our vaguely EDC discussion about the places that we go and the everyday world we experience when just being observant people paying attention to the world around us. With me, as usual, is my good buddy Whack. Say hello, Whack.
Hello, Whack.
Hey, there it is. Ooh, he's coming a little peaky. Let me bring him down just a
Well, I did say
touch.
that aloud.
Yeah, just got right up in the microphone.
Cowboy Mike's all the way.
Yeah. So, last week we talked about my basic EDC carry, knife, flashlight, uh, wallet, keys, that kind of stuff. And we talked a bit about the movie theater situation, where if you're in a kind of a really shitty, not conducive to easy movement environment, and you had brought up shopping center, grocery store type settings, bigger, maybe like bigger department stores, like blue box, orange box kind of places, or whatnot. So let's kind of go down that road. I guess first of all, the concept of EDC is obviously modified if you're going to a grocery store, um, because you are, you're stockpiling your food for the next week or two. I try to use reusable bags just because the ones that are available are crap and they rip so easily. Um, but the environment itself is is probably it's it's what a lot of us will kind of self-program into a linear experience. We kind of get into these habits of going to the grocery store, and we go all the way down to the dairy section and work our way up and down the aisles and whatnot. Where, what's a good way of putting this? How does being in an environment like that for you change how you perceive versus, in a more enclosed area like a movie theater or whatnot? Because I know you had talked about observing the people around you, and if they're acting suspicious or if they're dressed in a suspicious way or whatnot. But uh, a grocery store can be kind of a catch-all where people come in for one thing or they come in for three carts worth of stuff. So how does that change how you look at that environment and how you carry yourself?
Well, it's an interesting question. You'll be surprised by my answer because it's going to sound like I'm making it up.
Okay.
You, Last week we mentioned that I have a uniform that I've built that I wear,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the reasons I do that is because I go shopping in professionally. I go into these stores and I pick up stuff.
Right.
So I know exactly where everything is now, and I'm in a hurry to go get the seven things somebody's ordered, right?
Right.
And I need to make sure I don't look like that guy that's
Right.
walking in and barging in and being mean and upsetting anybody. And is he carrying? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
trying not to be that guy, so I actually wear a costume to be as friendly as possible. So I'm actually looking out and making sure that everybody knows that I'm not a problem.
Okay.
So a big smile on my face, maybe your shoulders a little bit. I got my reflective vest on, and I got a light up name tag with my name and who I'm working for.
Right.
That flashes back and forth. Yeah, I am surveying the place, but I'm actually trying hard not to be surveilled that way.
Right. So I mean that touches on uh you'll hear a lot in the prepping community, the gray man concept, and that is presenting yourself in either a non-hostile, non-threatening way or a non-target way where people don't look at you and go, oh, that guy's, got a gun, or that guy's carrying a bunch of cash because he works for the bank or whatnot. And this kind of dovetails on what you said last week, that part of your EDC is what you wear, you know, and I've been kind of thinking about that in the back of my head because I've been at work all week in a warehouse where I'm moving, light loaded trusses, I'm moving, heavy road cases and whatnot. So I have specific things that I wear in that environment that says, oh, safety, being aware of physical safety, being aware of electrical safety when I'm testing lights and testing dimmer racks and things like that. So okay. Do you think, like, okay, everybody knows that, like, I don't remember which one. I think you said it's Uber Eats that you do.
Well, I do. I've got the Infinity Gauntlet. I do them all.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, the light up name badge is an interesting thing because, like, everybody knows that's not a cash oriented business. It's all done online via the apps.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, it very much was like armored truck drivers. They have a uniform with, the bulletproof vest, the high contrast uniform of usually white shirt, black pants, big old pistol on their side. They pull up in these monster vehicles that just obstruct things unnecessarily. Your badge, your high vis, and all of that seem to be like that polar opposite of, like, yeah, you can notice me, but I'm not worth interacting with. Is that a fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, unless it's for that specific purpose.
right.
It works too. I've actually tested it. The Clark Kent effect.
Yeah.
I take that outfit off, and people do not recognize me. This happened today.
So it essentially gives them a focus point
Mm-hmm.
where it's like they look at you, they see that badge, that vest, they know who you are, but otherwise their attention just kind of slides right off of you.
Mm-hmm. And people compliment that name badge
Yeah.
every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah. And is that something you put together yourself, I'm presuming?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yep. Yeah, designed it myself, and I did it for the purposes that we're talking about, which is why I'm like, you're gonna think I'm making this up, but yeah, when I'm in a grocery store, I'm generally wearing a uniform I designed that people actually appreciate. I put the time to do it, mainly because the whole point of these gig jobs is you're not supposed to care,
Right.
but isn't the rule you can do what you want, right? So I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make this job quick, easy, and efficient for me, yo.
Right.
And being able to be seen from 30 feet away so they can skip every other customer and go, what you need?
Right.
That's more efficient for me. So I wear the uniform. Also, it's like super sun protectant. I basically wear a long sleeve sunscreen every single day.
Okay. I do like that you call it the Clark Kent effect. I like that a lot better than the whole gray man concept because, again, there are so many lines of thought in the prepping community that are rooted in the what's the best way of putting this?
Aggressive.
Kinda, yeah. Like that military fetishistic kind of, I'm going to be the gray man, so I'm going to use this Maxpedition bag that is specifically designed to have a gray man look, and it's like you look at it and you go, that's a military derived bag. That's you're highlighting yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I will be the first to admit I enjoy the gear. I have fun with it. It is very much a concept of toys for me. But I've run into a few people who are genuinely serious about it, and it's like your everyday carry and your presentation is meant to be, look at me, I'm just Joe Public walking around. But it's like, you wear here, hold on a second, where's casual hat wearing, right? Yeah, typical.
Mm-hmm.
How we wore them in the military. And this is what I see. And it's like, what do you, you're advertising that you're trying to hide your eyes because you're looking around. You're like, don't look at my face. I'm trying to hide my face. And it's like, you're just, your hat that is part of your EDC, because I'm stealing that philosophy that clothes are part of your EDC. You're telegraphing. You're saying, don't look at me because I'm looking at you. And what you've got
I've
on,
spotted many people like that before.
yeah. And I love what you've got going on, because it's very much, it's counterintuitive until you think about it. It's like, oh yeah, loud vest and whatever and blah blah blah, and it's like, no, you see that shit and you're like, oh, somebody's either trying to get attention because they're dressed ostentatiously, or they're trying to do a job. Here's a for instance. I can't remember. It was in the last 10 years. A couple of guys got all the way out to the field, I want to say it's Super Bowl, with an 8-foot ladder, I think it was, a clipboard, and a couple of high-vis vests.
Oh, yeah.
Breeze through security, breeze through the checkpoints. And it was not, I do remember this distinctively. It was a football game. They got all the way out to the field before somebody looked at them and said, no. And it's like, so often we have this Clark Kent blind spot of, oh, construction worker, he's doing this, walking around, oh, there's somebody with an AT&T truck near a box or something. And yet, in the op force side of things, where you're being the bad guy, that's that kind of casual dismissal that you crave, that you like sculpt entire identities around. And I find it supremely interesting that you're just casually like, yep, here's this literal bright shiny thing that makes people not look at me. I think that's fantastic. I really do.
Let me tell you how this worked today. I was out doing some deliveries, and I picked up a Philly cheesesteak, and I said to Gabby, I said, oh, it smells like Philly cheesesteaks in here. Now I want one. And she's like, So she put the order in, and I had to go pick it up for us.
Right.
I walk in, and I say, I'm still wearing my uniform because, I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm here for myself. My wife made the call, and she ordered 2 Philly cheesesteaks for us. And she blinks, and she goes, name? And I go, Peter. No, I actually said that too. Hi, my name's Peter. It's under my name. And she went, name? And she turned around and she went to the tablet to look at it. And then she turned around, and basically we had to go through the entire thing again. My wife ordered this on the phone for me. I'm not doing a pickup. I said that. I'm not doing a pickup today. This is for me. And she had to go through the whole thing, and then she went, oh, and went over to the other computer to do it. In other words, she didn't hear a word I said. Not a word. This is not a bad thing. She just saw the shiny name tag, which says my name and DoorDash on it.
Yeah.
She saw the name underneath it that said Uber Eats. She heard me go blah, 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 and she just automatically she was incapable of hearing more.
Right.
So that's what happened today. One time a manager got super mad at me because she said nobody's allowed to pee while we're busy, and I said you are allowed to pee, and she got super mad.
Yeah.
And she started yelling at me, and she said, I'm going to get you fired. I'm like, well, you're violating everyone's civil rights, including mine. And she was super mad. So I had to come back a couple of hours later to get the name of the company so I could report her.
Yeah.
Right. I just took off the outfit. I did. I put my hat on, right, and I walked in, made an order, ordered myself a drink or something, and walked over and just took a picture of the little plaque that says who it is that they work for. Did not get noticed even by that lady.
Right.
She looked right through me.
Right. It's we used to joke that the best disguise is the Marvel disguise, which is a baseball hat and a hoodie.
Hmm.
And
Oh yeah, the Bucky
you
Barnes uniform.
yeah, you could be Bucky Barnes, you could be fucking Steve Rogers, and you put on a hat and a hoodie and you're just Mr. Invisible. Not
Hmm.
not the invisible. Yeah. No.
But that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work if I didn't have the uniform. That's where I'm going with this.
Right.
I look one way, you expect to see me that way, and if I step out of place or say something you don't expect,
Yeah.
you will get completely bamboozled. It's real. And yeah, I definitely want to be seen as friendly everywhere I go because I had Bell's palsy earlier this year. It
Mm.
paused the right half of my face.
Yeah.
I still had to go do work.
Right.
And the way I was treated was noticeably different.
Yeah.
This one particular lady kept acting like I was a criminal and wanted to see my phone and wanted me to scan it off and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? I come in here all the time. I'm not stealing from you. I
Right.
realized because she saw my face and she just registered something's wrong with this guy.
Right. And there definitely is a stigma to medical what's the word I'm looking for? Medical aberrations in people that cause them
Hmm.
to keep their distance or put up that
Well, that's true.
defensive.
Yeah. And you know what? She's doing her best. She doesn't even know she's doing it. It's not
Yeah.
worth bringing up. I only bring it up because you can do the same thing with your clothes. So if I was dressed the way these guys think I should be dressed,
Yeah.
so I'm obviously carrying in a special bag. I'm wearing a lot of BDU stuff.
Yeah.
I try to go into every single restaurant. They might not think I'm going to hurt them, but they're going to think I'm going to be a problem. They're
Right.
going to think that I've insisted on parking my truck backwards, slowing down traffic everywhere in the parking lot.
Right.
They're going to insist that I'm going to check and have a problem with everything in the bag. And they're going to be like, oh, this guy. And they're
Right.
going to put me to the back of the line in their mind if I do what the prepper community says I should do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, going the other way, superseding it, I'm treated with higher priority than everybody else.
Right.
Mostly. Some places don't understand that this order was made an hour ago and think I should have to wait. That's rude
Right.
when they do that, but
Now
that's a different conversation.
I have myself noticed looking back, there have been times where I have been doing some pretty shady shit at work.
Hmm.
And as soon as I'm confronted, it's like, oh no, I'm here with the production. Oh, okay, that's okay. I'll give you for example. We were filming up at Emory University on the campus for what show was that? That had to have been Moonshot, whatever it was. Regardless,
Moonlight.
but we had complete access to like three buildings, but one of the buildings had crash doors that automatically locked after whatever it was 7 or 8 p.m. because nobody was supposed to be in the building, even though in onset terms we owned the building. We had rented it out, we had free reign of it. So it literally got to the point where I have this little arm that you can wedge into the door and pop the crash bar open. And I literally got to the point I had that on my work belt because that door kept closing and they wouldn't prop it open. So I'm literally like, I'm going out every couple minutes, popping this door open, and campus security comes around and they see me and a couple other cats in dark clothes. We don't have a ton of equipment around us and we didn't have anything directly in that doorway. And I literally like fish this thing open, pop it open. And they're like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, the door locked. It keeps locking. I'm just opening it again for these guys to get in. What are you doing here? Oh, we're with the film crew. Oh, okay. And it's like, wait, okay. Okay, so.
Security is theater.
Yes.
And it's weird. It's weird when the people don't know that and think insisting on the rules is going to help.
Right.
I run into that all the time, and people try to strong arm me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like super calm and I'm patient and I will wait all day because brother, I'm coming to you as a courtesy.
Right.
I can walk through your gate like the T-1000. I just got to turn my weapon slightly. I'll just walk right through this wall.
Right.
Like if I'm here to steal from you, you get stolen, son. Like this is not. This is no. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Like people act like the gates at their community mean anything to me.
Right.
Like most of the time it's open because I do it during the day. But when they're
Yeah.
closed, man, it ain't stopping me.
Right.
No, seriously, I'm not saying I'm a thief. I'm saying that's the annoying part. I'm saying I'm not a thief, which is why I'm standing here talking to you.
Right.
If I wanted to steal from you, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
Can I have some courtesy, please?
I want to circle back to something you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, and that was the gal when you went to pick up your cheesesteaks who, out of habit, went through the whole rigmarole of, however you process picking up an order, even though it was
Hmm.
for you and it had your name on it. I know in my industry, working in the entertainment industry, there is a lot of how can I put this? There's a lot of that kind of scripted response, that
Yeah.
processed response. I'm guessing you run into the same thing, and you have in your toolkit, you have like I know I have, sometimes I have credentials, sometimes I have certain statements that I can say, certain validations that I have when I'm confronted. I'm presuming you have something similar, if not the same. This kind of structure of, if I'm confronted this way or if I'm challenged this way, I can respond appropriately. I mean,
Hmm.
you've already said that you do, so I mean,
It's Clark. Well, no, it's worth mentioning. It's Clark Kent all the way down,
yeah.
where you and the other preppers, their go-to thing is not a Karen. There's a masculine version of a Karen that's not the same thing,
Mm.
but aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Their thing to do is aggressiveness,
Right.
right? My thing to do is the Clark Kent, hey, we're all just friends here,
Right.
situation. Until it's time not to do that. There are some rare stories I have about that, but that can wait because it didn't happen in a grocery store. Well, basically, have you ever watched Rick and Morty?
Not really.
His nemesis is Mr. Nimbus, and he controls the police.
Okay.
The joke is like how Aquaman controls fish. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Mr. Nimbus controls the police. I'll just tell you, I have completely taken control of the police several times in my life. Just made them do what I want them to do, and there's doing that, and then there's just trying to make a delivery. So the way that I go through my life is very, very, very friendly. I
Right.
want everybody around me to know that I'm not a threat.
Right.
If I wanted to harm you, son, we would not be having this conversation.
Right.
Yes, I know exactly how to fuck with you in like 20 ways a Sunday. I'm not going to, but I don't want you to even think about that, so I'm not going to bring any of that up.
Right.
It actually went back, way back. This is like 2017 or so. I was waiting for an order at Zaxby's. This is just me working. At one point, I had a real job, and I was just picking it up on my way home.
Mm.
And I was sitting next to a mom and her little boy. And the little boy said something, and I said something back, and the mom grabbed him and pulled him closer to her. And I was like, I'm giving off vibes that I'm a threat.
Right.
And I've been working ever since. So I guess for the last 8 years,
Yeah.
I've been molding myself in a way where when I'm in public, mothers don't want to pull their children closer to them.
Right.
She probably thought I had a gun, or if I was upset, or maybe I'd be racist in some way.
Right.
And I was just putting on a good face. She probably thought that, and it was probably because I was tired or something. Because I liked the kid.
Right.
I don't remember what he said. He was like, "Yeah, I can't wait to get home." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be nice." And then pulled her kid close. So
Right.
I've been cultivating, and this is a genuine cultivation, a entire persona. That is, I am basing it on Superman. Hey, how's it going? I'm here to
Right.
help. I'm not here to hurt you. I have to go onto your property. It's part of my job.
Right.
But I'm going to be gone soon, and you will never see me again.
So you brought back up the grocery store, which is kind of the lead into all of this. The how can I put this? This is why I should probably script out some talking points.
Well, I had suggested some, and I remember thinking that we should start with just giving good grocery store tips.
Yeah.
We are prepping. Prepping is a thing,
Mhm.
and so I was just going to mention a couple of quick ones. If you go to Walmart, and you go to the bread aisle and you buy the Walmart bread, it's $1.45.
Yeah.
Other places sometimes sell it 2 for 1, so $3. but it's guaranteed to be $1.45 over at the bread aisle.
Right.
If you go and you buy their brand of peas,
Hmm.
corn, and green beans,
Yeah.
they are 75 cents and sometimes 45 cents. That's a prepping tip. Don't tell me it's not. If you say
No.
it's not, you're too aggressive. No, I don't mean you. I mean the imaginary prepper man.
Right.
If they tell me that 75 cents and 45-cent cans of corn aren't something they care about, then they don't care about surviving in the first place.
Right. Again, and it's funny because one of the first things, like whenever somebody gets into prepping, one of the first things that inevitably comes up is food. And it's like, you're not expected to go out and buy, a bulk Foot Locker full of freeze dried meals because that shit's expensive. But it's
Hmm.
like, hey, can you tack on an extra $5 or $10 to each grocery trip and stock up on, you know, the tinned fruits and veggies that you like, or something that can sit in the bottom of your freezer for a while, or something that just won't, dry goods that don't go bad if you put a little effort into storing them. You know, um,
I like going to BJ's, but you can also find this at Publix. 20-pound bags, no more. 40-pound bags of rice
yeah.
for 19.95.
So let me circle back around to that, but I want to interject something while it's in the forefront of my mind. If you go and you look at a lot of prepper channels, a lot of them will do these. Let's go see what we can prep at Walmart for $100, or Home Depot
Hmm.
for $100 or whatever. Here in Atlanta, we have copious quantities of Asian markets,
Hmm.
and some of them it's like you cram a Walmart into like half the footprint, but like drastically improve the quality of a bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
And I kind of keep thinking, because like the one up here by me, not only do they sell food, live fish, things like that, but they also sell some like smaller restaurant type stuff and smaller like portable cooking type stuff, like the little canister
Yeah.
stoves and shit like that. And it's like, people are sleeping on this because those canister stoves are like 20-30 bucks, and it's like, there you've got a portable, gas cooker right there.
That's that's where me, we need to name our prepper man. My imaginary guy that backs a Silverado in, even if it's not inappropriate.
Yeah.
We need to find a name for that guy because that guy's preparing for the apocalypse, right?
Right.
Well, I hope you start believing in dystopias because you're in one.
Yeah.
I live in the apocalypse.
Right.
When I give you these tips on saving this money, I'm talking about literally living another day.
Right.
I know how I know how to secure my situation for a lockdown for an entire week, including entertainment, including fuel for my vehicle, including food to eat.
Right.
When a storm comes in for me, I'm locked down
Right.
because of my short order ability to get stuff. So I make them foot the expense of storing it.
Right.
I just know exactly how to get in and exactly where to buy it, exactly how to buy it, and I come out the other end spending $18 and being able to survive off 2 weeks. That's literal.
Right. Um.
When we went to that dollar store, real quick, we
mm,
went to that dollar store. Gabby bought something like 4 gallons of cocoa powder.
yeah.
She knows how to make her own Bisquick,
Right.
and we were able to make our own chocolate brownies out of that thing because we know how to take good things when we see them. We know when to strike and then
Mm,
immediately use them.
right.
Because if you're prepping, you ain't paying attention.
Yeah.
Now is the apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I will. I will. I will readily admit that place was much better and much more dangerous than it needs to be. We're referring to an Amazon open box store, by the way, basically. Um, and it is scary how you can go in there with $20 and come out with a bunch of stuff that you didn't even realize you needed. Um, but there is definitely I think people get hung up on the romantic idea of prepping. They think of oh, what was the dude from Tremors with all the guns?
Oh, Dale?
Was it? My mind was
Who
going to
is the
Bert
guy
for
from
some
Family
reason.
Ties?
Huh?
It was
Yeah, it's the
Bert.
dude
Yeah,
from
yeah, you're
Family
right.
Ties. Yeah. Um, married to Reba McEntire.
They broke up. They
Yeah,
couldn't
well,
afford Reba McEntire
right.
or all those guns.
Yeah,
So he had to have an empty prepper house.
yeah. Um, but I like people will get really hung up on, you know, just about any bit of minutia when it comes to prepping. You know, like, oh, you know, what kind of bag is that? What kind of wallet is that? What knife are you using? And it's like, if that's the question you're asking, you're paying attention to product placement. You're not paying attention to what is the tool and ultimately what does it do? How well does it do it? Because those should be your metrics. What does it do and how well does it do it? You know?
Notice that Bert. He's a good example. He was properly prepped for an apocalypse that didn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
and he was unprepared for an apocalypse that did happen.
Right.
That's pretty much true about every one of those movies, but in that
Oh
first
yeah.
one especially.
Yeah.
He did survive it, but you know who else survived it? Kevin Bacon. And he didn't have nothing but a truck with half a tank of gas in it, and
Right.
he managed to kill more graboids than Bert did. Well, he had Bert's help. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't need those explosives, but you got to be quick on your feet. You never know which apocalypse will come for you.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like in the bushcraft community, in that kind of you know, self-reliance community, there's the concept that the specialists will not thrive because they are so focused on one particular facet, whereas the generalist who has a broad spectrum knowledge, a broad spectrum skill set, will be able to thrive. Yeah, okay, if you got a fire specialist and a bushcraft specialist who can make a fire, yes, the guy who can make a fire is going to make a fire quicker, but the bushcraft specialist is going to also get his shelter done and be able to hunt and trap and get his fire going and, you know, take care of his water issues. And so the concept of, okay, yeah, he wasn't ready for graboids, but he was ready for something. That's and that's why it's like, I don't say, you know, for your everyday carry, you need a Microtech Ultratech dual edge in, you know, matte black with a super grippy. No, you know what you need? You need a pocket knife. You need a pocket knife that's appropriate for your environment, you know?
And that's what we talked about last time. You need to be able to improvise a knife
Yeah.
when you need it.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. If I have a knife, that's a problem for me. But I know how to make a knife.
Right.
I know how to make a knife in 4 different ways off the top of my head right now. In fact, we should test this at some point. Not the knife part. You've actually reminded me that when we get together, you should actually challenge me to set a fire. I'm pretty sure I could set a fire within like 15 minutes
Yeah.
without any prep at all.
It would be interesting.
If you let me just do it as I would normally do it, I'd go grab some of my lenses, and I would just use the sun to light up some kindling. If I can't use those lenses, I can use my glasses. You see what I'm saying?
So
like,
I'm
you should try it sometime.
So in my wallet, because I'm kind of an old man and I always forget my glasses, I have a Fresnel lens, and momentary diversion. I know that eventually people will watch this, and when I do another fire episode, I will harp on this. It's Fresnel. The S is silent. It is a proper name, goddammit. And if you say Fresnel, I don't care what your name is, I am intentionally mispronouncing it. This is a Fresnel lens. It's not hard. Fresnel. Okay? But yes, absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned going for the lens because, again, in that kind of bushcraft vein, this is easy, right? This takes a couple minutes. You want to do this first when you have energy and when you can focus and whatnot. It is when you are dying and you are critical that you want to go to the, okay, this is easy. I can get this going right now.
Right.
This, as long as the sun is out, will not run out of power. This will eventually run out of gas.
So,
I do use these because you can pull out the little sparker and still use that for a spark when the gas runs out of the lighter. But yeah, you go for the less resource consuming options first. And yes, I
well, more importantly, like you need a fire.
yeah.
Okay, do you know where to get a Fresnel lens? And almost like maybe every other house, do you know where you can find a Fresnel lens?
You're asking the wrong person because I actually have many of them.
Oh, I should give you one. I've got a sheet of it. I've got the one with the big death ray ones.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's just sitting here. I don't actually need it. So if you want a
Like in a
Fresnel lens, I can
normal
tell you.
household, I can't think off the top of my head. Where would you get one?
Virtual reality headsets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Virtual reality headsets almost always use Fresnel lenses, and they pop right off. And then you can go outside and use both of them, the left one and the right one, and make it twice as fast.
Um. So okay, it actually brings up another interesting point, and that's I know we're veering away from the EDC discussion, but this is my show. I can do it however I want. The target, no, not that it's not target fixation. I guess maybe it is. It is the narrow thought process of where can I harvest the resources to do what I
Hmm.
need to do. Um, there was a prep show that I was watching, and this topic it always kind of stuck with me because I have lived in cities for a big chunk of my life. Something happens and you need to get water on your way home. You know, and you don't have a Silcock key to open up the tap on a municipal building or whatever. What's some places that you could go to get water? And it's like, well, just about every place that has food will have water. Yeah.
Hmm.
Office buildings will have water because they have bathrooms and things like that. The little strip mall dentist office will oftentimes have bottled water for their patients.
Hmm.
Everybody's going to, well, I'm not going to say everybody. There will be a great deal of people who will target fixate on something like, oh, grocery stores or quickie marts or, restaurants or whatnot. But it's like, no, no. This here. Oh, look, it's a day labor office. Guess what? They probably have some pallets or not pallets. They probably have some flats of water in there for their day staff. Whatever.
Don't forget Home Depot and Lowe's as well.
Home Depot and Lowe's, yeah. Um,
You happen to be naming one that I'm actually really really good at because, it got up to 100 degrees the other day,
mhm,
right? And I'm out in it, and
yeah,
I actually discovered this. This is going to sound dumb because maybe everybody knew it but me. It's a temperature thing. I realized that one of the ways I can stay completely mobile is if it wasn't hot out there, it's just by drinking cold water. I used
yeah,
to drink room temperature, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's the cold water.
yeah,
So how do you keep cold water flowing in a 4 to 6 hour shift out in that sun? The answer is when you go to pick up a meal, because you're in there anyway, you go to the self serve dispenser. But that's actually getting phased out. There aren't that many self serve dispensers. But
right,
there are lots of restaurants, right?
yeah,
So it's in maybe one out of every 5 or 6 places.
mhm,
I know every place in this town, son. I know where to get water from everywhere.
right,
Ice water, cold water, clean filtered water.
right.
I know where to pull from everywhere. And they're happy to see me every time I walk in.
Yeah, that's this is it's a point that has been brought up in a couple of discussions that I've had with some people. They're not preppers, but they lean towards that kind of mindset.
Hmm.
And talking about because EDC is a pretty entry level discussion for prepping, and I've gotten a number of times of, well, you're a ham radio guy. Why don't you carry a radio in your kit? Well, two reasons. Ham radio is not a turn it on and go thing. You got to do some either front end work or know what's going on in the moment. But it was like it never even occurred to them that we work in an industry where we're usually given radios at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I'm say I'm up at CPAC up on the north side and it's a 20-mile schlep for me to get down to where I'm at by the airport. And I've got a few people that are going that direction and we decide to caravan it and we're all walking home and we're just kind of taking care of each other until everybody branches off to their respective homes. Do I need a radio? Not necessarily. Would it be a good idea for the point man and the rear guard to have one so they can just talk at each other without yelling? Be able to communicate without being super obvious about it? Potentially, yeah. In which case, I will grab 2 radios and 2 extra batteries from work and just take them. We get water. We have 2 big coolers that they dump ice and bottled water into for us because when we're out working the amphitheaters, it gets hot. It gets really freaking hot. So it's like, do I need to worry about carrying water with me? No. Is it a good idea for me to have a water bottle with me? Yeah. But I don't have to worry about keeping it filled. There is a lot of... I'm just going to use the phrase target fixation. People think this is the only way or this is the easiest way. And it unfortunately leads to a lot of people thinking the same thing, which is, where can we get food? How about, the grocery store or the restaurant? Okay. Well, Staples has a food section.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. A lot of people don't until they go in there and they're like, oh, wow. And it's like, yeah.
I know it's gone now, but Joann's also had a fairly large selection.
Yeah, because they had like their cake decorating and stuff like that.
No, they just sold snacks in the snack aisle. They were trying to get you on the way out the door.
That's right, in the impulse buy section. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I found out something interesting this morning, by the way. I was chilling out on the Facebook Marketplace, and somebody had a moisture evaporator. I don't know what its real name is, but that's what Luke Skywalker used to farm in the desert.
It's
a moisture evaporator. It creates water from the air.
Yeah, it's essentially basically kind of a modified swamp cooler. Sucks in the humid air.
Somebody had one.
Nice, nice.
Somebody had one. They were selling it for $500. It originally sold for $1,500. And it made cool, clear water come out the side of it, right?
Nice.
I realized I have one of those.
Yeah?
I have a dehumidifier. And
when
I turn that dehumidifier on, it creates quite a bit of water. I have a hose running out of it to go outside is so much. So, again, we mentioned early on in episode 1 or the pre-ep that I assume I'm still going to have electricity.
Yeah.
I'm still going to have GPS and the internet.
Yeah.
I don't have any... I don't have any indicators. I'm going to lose those things. So if I have power, and for some reason no water, which, maybe I live in Flint, Michigan, right? I actually know how to pull it directly out of the air now.
Right.
It just never occurred to me to do that. And so I'm giving that pro tip to everybody.
There you go.
You have a dehumidifier. You have a moisture evaporator.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So we're at 45 minutes now. So I want to kind of turn this to the next episode / live chat, because next week will not be a live show. I'm going to be at work. We have a ballet going through next week, so I will be occupied. But what I would like to do is figure out a topic that I can film a short on, whether it's day hiking gear or GPS or navigation stuff, whatever, that I can put a short together that y'all can watch. And then the following Thursday on the live chat, that can be our topic of discussion. So,
okay.
Any thoughts? Is there anything that you would like to expand your knowledge base on that I might be able to help with?
And you're going to be on site when you do this?
So next Thursday, I will basically put a video together and have it scheduled to upload and go live, or to go
Mhm.
active at our normal chat time at 8 p.m. on Thursday. But it will be just a normal passive YouTube video. The following week, we'll discuss whatever that topic was.
Right. Oh, okay. Let's see. We've talked about the grocery store. We've
Mm-hmm.
talked about um, the movie theater.
Yeah.
The first thing that pops into my mind is we could talk about the gas station because I got a couple tips about that. There's a couple of apps they give me to get me to go to their gas station, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy gasoline.
Right. Right.
So I have a bunch of things about that, like what to do at the gas station. We haven't talked about if things go tits, but it's pretty obvious in a grocery store.
Yeah.
Um, what are the things that yeah, let's do that. Let's focus on the gas station. What are the things at the gas station that it has you may not be aware of,
Okay.
and how do you make a Molotov cocktail out of the shit that's in a gas station?
Hey, there you go. Okay. Also, yeah, that's good. I can maybe make a
Yeah,
mini Molotov cocktail and set it off in the backyard or something.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Um. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can come up with something for that. Maybe for those of us that are still on petroleum based usage, maybe some info on uh, storing gas for extended
Oh
periods.
yeah. Hmm.
Options for. I mean, this would be more your thing. Options for alternate transportation, because you drive an EV.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I have when I don't need to go far, I have. You can't really see it in the back there. My trusty bicycle. Um,
I want an electric bike. I saw
yeah,
somebody driving down the road. I was stuck in traffic today, and they passed me. I'm pretty sure I clocked them at like 25 miles an hour, maybe more.
nice.
And I'm like, dang, man, if I had one of those in my car, like maybe I do that last mile of the delivery on the bike and then come back to the
Right.
car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let it
Kind
charge
of in
up
the
while
market.
you're.
Uh huh.
Okay, so yeah, I'll come up with a little something about fuel and gas stations and what is available, because around here we have some very eclectic gas stations in Atlanta, and you can get quite the selection of things. So I think it's a good, yeah. So next week, a short about gasoline, and the following week, a live chat about gasoline and gas
Yeah,
associated
let's do it.
products. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I can't really.
I got
Oh,
one more tip for Walmart. I'd mentioned all of my go to ones.
yeah,
There's the bread
yeah,
at 145.
yeah,
There's the vegetables at 75 cents to 45 cents. There's the rotisserie chicken. You could still get rotisserie chickens for $5 at Walmart.
mm,
You can get even better ones at Costco if you have access.
right,
In the back of the Walmart, all the way in the back, are the Sam's Club brand sodas, and they
yeah,
sell for 98 cents. Now, I mention this specifically because people don't like cheap sodas because when they're our age, cheap sodas used to suck.
right,
But Coke and Pepsi have to spend half of their income on marketing and R&D and all that stuff.
yeah,
And all the grocery stores have to do is ape off that and sometimes just pull off the same spigot. So
right,
they're really, really good now. So
yeah.
you can save yourself something like $10 or $15 if you buy four different flavored Mountain Lightnings and Sam's Club
Can
Choice Colas in the
can
back.
confirm, because I will do that. Unfortunately, so I used to be a really big fan of Arizona green tea, but lately they've been hit or miss. And it's unfortunately been more miss than hit, with their flavor profile, and like sometimes it tastes burnt, sometimes it tastes watered down. It's just, so I've been looking for an alternate, just regular beverage, and I do get the Sam's Club sodas, because not only can you get the mainstream clones, Mountain Lightning and cola and whatnot, but you can get the generic flavored sodas. Like I love the pineapple soda. The cream soda is really good. So yeah, 100%. It's great that there's been this kind of equalization, basically, of generic products or like GV or Sam's Club or whatever or Kirkland versus the mainstream products, because basically it used to be, oh, this is a cheaper product, so it's going to suck, I'll get it when I have to. And then they realized, oh, we can just, as you said, draw off of the same, resource pool, off of the same, essentially soda machine or soap dispenser or whatever. And then you throw that generic label on it, charge a half or a third of the cost or whatever, and you've got just as quality a product. Like I get Kirkland laundry detergent in the big bucket. I get one of those a year. When it gets down a couple inches, I'll mix some OxyClean in there. It does great. It does. I don't, and it's $18-20 for me to get laundry soap for the year. You can't go wrong.
Now, that's just good prepping.
Yeah,
that is
100%.
You know what you didn't need that year? A bunch of bullets, a new pistol. But you should totally buy that pistol for me.
I'm working. I gotta. It's been, unfortunately, August was really slow work wise.
Just give me 600 Sam's Club's 2-liter bottles.
I'm just gonna rock up with a truckload of cola, and you'd be like, "What the hell is this?" Ask and you shall receive. Because I remember. I don't remember specifically what year it was, but you had gone home for something. This is when you still lived in Florida, and you had found, I want to say they were like Mountain Dew bottles that were several years old, but they had basically been squirreled away in a cabinet. And then I remember we dropped a whole bunch of candy in them and
Yes.
turned it into this horrifying,
Pick me up.
probably sentient sugar demon.
Yeah, it was great. I added some caffeine pills too.
Back
We
when
had Tiffany Grant drink some.
yes, and then she mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, the things that come back to mind, especially talking with you about soda.
I do like it.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's no joke. I like
I
soda. I'm a soda aficionado.
I try to be good. I try to do about 3-to-1 water to soda. And it's kind of gotten to the point where like a 20-ounce bottle of soda will last me all day. Because I'll have a little bit of it and then I'll go back to water. So it's probably better for you,
I'll come
but
off of it. I'll come back on. Right now, I'm drinking nothing but water. So
yeah, that's good. That's good.
water I got from the. Let's see. Today I got my water from the Panda Express.
Hey, there you go. Tastes like real panda water.
Because you bring your own bottle.
Ah,
Yeah, you bring your own bottle and you're good to go.
nice. Yeah, soon we had a hint of autumn weather here for a day or two when it was really nice, and we're supposed to get a little bit more starting, I think, next week. It's supposed to start tapering off, and as it gets cooler, I start wanting to get out and doing more camping type stuff. Even if I just, like, if I don't have the time to go somewhere, I will set up the tent in Puerto Backyarda and camp out in the backyard. Which the outdoor
really like
cats.
those crispy temps.
What's oh, I do. I absolutely do. But here's the thing. Was it? It was last summer. I picked up a collapsible camp stove for my tent, and I've done a burn off on it already. but I have not had a chance to put the tent up and put the stove up and do some hot tent camping since I got this stove, and I would really like to do that. I'm kind of hoping we have a good stretch of like really like 30s and 20s kind of days where I can do that again, even if it's in the backyard. But that's a discussion for an episode later down the road. I think we'll kind of wrap it up.
We can talk about it tomorrow or next week with fuel.
A little bit, yeah, because wood is fuel. But for right now, I think I'll aim to keep it to, prepping at a gas station, what you can kind of look for in your gas station, and what, I'll refine.
There's
that.
a lot of surprising things at a gas station. No, it's worth. There are many a times where we've gone to the gas station because it's closer and it's the only thing open, and we've been in an emergency.
Yeah.
But we'll save it. We'll save it
Yeah.
for next time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of interesting things in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. As I said,
because you brought it up, and it's not a tangent. This is a good segue to my thing. I'm looking forward to the cold weather so that I can turn on my haptic fan and feel the heat of every star as I fly my spaceship into it.
Yes.
Because when I started doing that stream, it was cold and it was great. And now I've had to do the stream in the summer, and it sucks. And I'm not even wearing pants anymore. So I'm just it was a perfect segue. I couldn't resist.
No, go.
My stream over at Project SimStar, you can see me fly my spaceship around and feel the heat of the sun as it gets colder. Not while it's this hot, though.
No, ooh, somebody just thought of some did. Freedom Farmstead, do you carry an EDC bag? Kinda. I have some core EDC stuff. Since we actually have somebody in the chat asking a question, I will answer. Pocket knife, lighter, disposable lighter, obviously wallet, keys, phone. I also recommend a flashlight. I don't have a dedicated EDC bag, only because I have several bags for my work tools, my supplementary work equipment, rain gear, things like that. So I have kind of a core EDC kit that I carry in my pockets, and then I supplement it with things from, my tool kit, my work bag, my rain gear bag, things like that. I do I have it handy? Yes, I do. Just in general, like if I need to carry not a ton of stuff, I will grab, like a basic backpack that I will put a few core things in. But it's all day dependent, essentially. And this is something that Wacko and I have been talking about like, what am I doing today? I'm grocery shopping today, so I don't necessarily need, this knife. I may not even need this knife, but I'll have a pocket knife on me. Am I going to the grocery store for just one or two things? Then, yeah, I may bring an empty backpack with me just so I don't have to use their grocery bags. If I'm going for a whole cart full of stuff, I'll bring my reusable grocery bags. But my attitude on everyday carry is it should have a baseline that is tailored to what you're doing that day. For the most part, if you do that, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't, and it saves you the hair pulling of start going down that what if road. Well, what if the power goes out? Well, you have a flashlight. What if I get a blowout on the freeway? Hopefully you have the stuff to change your tire. You can absolutely get lost doing the what if, but a lean baseline EDC with supplementary stuff is the way I go.
That's what this show is about, is the what ifs. We talk about the what ifs, and he tells me about how he's totally prepared, and I tell him how I basically MacGyver it. I find the thing I need on the fly. The only thing I have on me is a brightly colored vest, which I now realize actually counts as my go bag because that's where I keep my wallet. That's where I keep any of the very small tools I have. For example, my keyless, my plugless car key. I keep in the pocket so I never take it out and I never lose it. So when it's time to do something, I pull the vest on. And it's brightly colored. It is not normally prepper stuff. But we made an argument today. You'll have to rewind today's stream.
Yeah.
Made an argument today as to why it's a preferentially gray man situation. So the point is, Mike's going to show you all the proper gear that people believe they have, and I'm going to tell you how you can do the same thing with two Mortys and a jumper cable.
I have a bit of contention because we absolutely talk about what ifs, and that's kind of the point of prepping is ultimately to what if. But I try not to let it bog me down in how I structure my prepping. So I hope that who was Freedom Farmstead. Please don't misunderstand. There's absolutely a reason that we have these what if scenarios. You know, what if you're at a movie theater and somebody goes bonkers, or what if you're at a grocery store and you realize, ooh, there's a storm coming. I may want to stockpile a few things. Prepping is absolutely a game of what ifs, but I try to be as pragmatic as possible about it, whereas Whack, as he said, tries to be as MacGyver as possible about it. He put it very amusingly, and I do like this. He lets everybody else store the stuff until it's time for him to use it. It's like, yeah, that checks out.
And then I buy it as a loss leader.
We do normally, Farmstead, we do normally keep these to about an hour. And while I do appreciate you coming in and checking out the stream, I'm sorry that you caught it at the tail end. I do hope you go back and look at the whole stream and go back and listen to last week's stream. I do have a small back catalog of videos from a few years back when I was trying to do this on the regular. And there's another chat. Thanks for the answer. I've been here since.
He remembers. Nice.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here for this. Hopefully going to try to get this ramp back up to where I'm doing it on the regular again. Again, kind of like I was doing before, how the practical things in your life can go to make your prepping journey easier, saner, maybe not as stereotypical prepper. And that's
I like what I said before, preparing for the apocalypse that's actually happening.
yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, no, that's actually perfect. Cause and again, this is just a channel in the forefront of my mind. If you check out a channel called Mike Tango Whiskey, he's got a video about where he had to evac because of wildfires. And he goes in the first couple of minutes as he's like, I thought I was prepared for this, and I basically got my ass handed to me because I was prepared in the wrong direction. It's a really good breakdown of what he went through, not only with logistics, but with like internal family stuff and whatnot. And that's something else that people don't take into consideration, is like how prepping affects your family and whatnot. A lot of people just are like, oh, I'm a prepper, but my wife doesn't do it. Or, I live on a compound with my wife and kids and the goats and whatnot. So it's like, it's a very fluid dynamic, not fluid dynamic. That's physics. It is a very fluid situation and dynamic for everybody. So I'm just trying to make this, something for everybody to be able to take at least a little nugget of information and hopefully not make it just a boring, here's my newest milsurp thing, whatever, just no. We're here to have fun. We're here to not take ourselves too seriously, but we are here to be, as I used to say, better than we were yesterday and more prepared than we were yesterday. So I think with that, we'll wind this down. I still don't have any outro graphics, so I may hound you, Whack, to see if you can squeeze that into your so busy schedule. Cause
I did forget about that until just now. So don't be afraid to keep reminding me.
Okay, no worries.
Evidently, I have a whole nother week for it, so you really should pester me during that week to get it done for you.
I will try to remember, but in fairness, I also forgot to schedule this live stream until about a half an hour before it. So
You did. I thought we weren't doing it this week,
No.
but we'll talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
About the next one. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Good. Be prepared, everybody.
Okay. Well, again, thank you, Freedom Farmstead, for watching, tuning in, and joining us tonight. Thank you, Whack, again for bringing your insight as the MacGyver gray man with the Clark Kent slickness. I think on that we'll say goodnight and call it a day. So again, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Say goodnight, Wacko.
Good night, Wacko.
All right, good night, everybody, and yeah, we'll see you when we see you.